Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. Good to be back on the live stream. Appreciate you checking out the live stream. Are the Houston Texans ready for prime time? Saturday night in Indianapolis, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Are they ready for prime time? Are they ready for the Indianapolis Colts? We'll go through that. Your comments throughout the course of the show this evening, as well as some fantastic, fun, interesting, incredible giveaways throughout the live show. That's right, giveaways in this show right now. So you want to stick around and hang out. And if you're watching after the fact, you got to hit that little bell when you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the fantastic live content that comes your way here on this YouTube channel. We'll love a thumbs up on the video. Appreciate everybody in the comment section. We'll get to you here in a matter of moments, but let's get it started. Black Eyed Peas style. Let's get it started. Last game doesn't matter to me. When the Texans take on the Indianapolis Colts in week 2, there was a lot of hype, a lot of expectation. First home game of the season. We were all very excited to see what CJ Stroud could do at NRG Stadium. And before we knew it, it was 14-0. The Indianapolis Colts were up, and the Texans basically never recovered from that. It got a little close there in the second half, but the Texans were never actually in it. 14-0. Richardson gets dinged up. They knock him out of the game. And then Gardner Minshew came in and just absolutely diced up the Texans. They were getting to CJ Stroud nonstop. A ton of pressure on Stroud, a lot of sacks. He got hit a bunch. That was in the early part of the season when they couldn't protect CJ Stroud. This game does not matter to me when it comes to this weekend's game. It was so long ago. It was so early in the season. This Texans team hadn't even figured out what they were at this point. Brevin Jordan was talking about today. He's like, we were still trying to figure out who we were as a team early on. D'Amico Ryans has said it multiple times this week. I don't care what happened in the first game. There are two different teams that are playing on Saturday, and that's the case. There's two very different teams playing on Saturday. The Texans' offensive line looks drastically different because of injuries, but they'll have Laramie Tunsil. They didn't have him for that matchup. And they've been able to, steady some things. The Titans aren't the most impressive defensive line or defense in football. That Colts defensive line is rugged and nasty, but they kept CJ Stroud upright coming out of the concussion, just the one sack on the long play. It took a long time. So not worried about that aspect of it. You hadn't figured out who to trust in the wide receiver game. Nico Collins hadn't turned into a 1,000-yard receiver that you can count on at that point. They were still working in Dalton Schultz. Devin Singletary was the backup, not the starter. I don't care about the last game. Now, that's not to say that it's not important to avoid what occurred, because Gardner Minshew and what he did to the Texans and what he was capable of doing in that game is still very much how you beat the Houston Texans, how you take care of business against the Texans. You go out there, you hit a bunch of short passes, you hit them quick, you don't let the defensive line get involved, you run the ball well, and usually if you do that, you beat up the Texans defense and you beat the Houston Texans. We've seen it time and time again this season. If a team's going to have success against the Texans, they're going to get the ball out quick, they're going to run the ball well, and they're going to neutralize what the Texans want to do on defense. Now, with all that being said, this is not the same style of defense, the same exact defense. They've had a little bit of success. They've been able to see some of the stuff that's been successful against them, and you would hope that they'd be more ready and prepared for that matchup with Gardner Minshew, with Shane Steichen, the offensive mastermind, and have it ready to go on Saturday against this Colts team. The way it worked in week 2 is still the book on how you beat the Texans. But the result of week 2, the team that played in week 2, that doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you as well as we get ready for Saturday night. As we get ready for Saturday night, let's go through that comment section as well. And if you go to the super chat, you go to the front of the line when it comes to the comment section. Our guy Matt Barr's got the super chat. He wants to know, what's the stat prediction for Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV? It's a shame that he doesn't go by that all the time. I mean, I love CJ Stroud. But that is such a great name. That is CJ Stroud's legal, God-given name for those of you that are unaware. Matt Marr, appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Stat prediction. So, little spoiler alert here. I'm on Texans extra points this week. So we recorded that. We've been putting that together. That'll be up on YouTube. That'll be on ABC 13 here in Houston. And the question was, CJ Stroud will blank in this game. I said, shine. CJ Stroud balls out in big games. You think about his college career and what he was able to do at Ohio State, the college football playoff last year. He shines in these big games. And I feel like he's set to shine against the Colts on Sunday as well. I would think that if you're going to get a victory, you're going to need CJ Stroud to be efficient. The numbers don't have to be huge, and we'll get into the Colts and what goes wrong with them here in just a second. The numbers don't have to be huge, but you got to be efficient. You can't turn the football over. And so I'll go 2 passing touchdowns. I'll go about 264 yards, and I'll say they throw it about 32 times. How about that? It's about 32 times and 2 touchdowns, but 260-something yards. How about that for a stat prediction? And that's a little bit low probably for what you're thinking if they're going to win this game. I'll explain why here in just a moment. Matt Marr, thank you. You're always so generous on the channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you have a super chat, you go to the front of the line when it comes to the comments section. So let's get into some of these comments. Jacob, good to see you. Hefe, good to see you. We in the locker room. Hey, Landry's got a cool last name. The Stoots room doesn't quite work. We'll just do late night Texans for right now. We're not having a game on Sunday at 12. Yeah, you move it up about 18 hours. That's kind of a weird one. Frank, good to see you. Devin, good to see you. If we make it to the playoffs, the uniform rules reset. Can we wear the battle red in the playoffs? Ooh. Good question. I will effort an answer for you on this, J-Rock. I will effort an answer on this for you. Tyler's got a prediction. Texans won't lose another game until September 2024. Woo! That means I win the Super Bowl, Tyler, which would be very, very fun for everybody. That means that, again, you remember the declaration, made it on the channel. They win the Super Bowl, I'll do a 24-hour live stream, which probably is bad for my computer health and everything, but we'll do it. Sean G, are we live again? We live. We absolutely are. STX Texan, Primetime Stoots, we made it. Yeah, Texans finally get into primetime. Finally. Took a long time. This was the one that they were going to get there if they were to get there, but finally get into primetime. It's good. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the broadcast. Hello. What a broadcast team. What a broadcast team. Devin wants to weigh in. He's got the super chat. I've been hearing these questions by Landry. What's your favorite playoff scenarios ranked? Okay, it's a good one. I want to play at home. And I understand that means the Cleveland Browns are coming to town. But the Texans at home, I like their chances to beat the Browns at home more than going on the road to play Kansas City or going on the road to play Buffalo or going on the road to play the Miami Dolphins. I like the chances of the Texans at home against the Browns. That's my favorite. I want nothing to do with Kansas City. That would be a get-right game for the Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs would light up the Texans. So I want nothing to do with Kansas City, that rabid playoff atmosphere, incredible fan base, outside, cold, want nothing to do with them. They're my least favorite. Buffalo, that's outside, that's cold, that's a rabid fan base. Josh Allen makes a lot of mistakes, though. And you can take advantage of some of those mistakes. So I like Cleveland. I like Buffalo. I like Kansas City in that order. Devin, I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. You're very charitable to the channel as well. Somebody in here asked about CJ to the Pro Bowl. Maybe. I think there's a chance. There's a good chance. I think the voting has been very good for him. Jacob says, I'd rather make the Super Bowl. Good. I like that. Didn't look like a top 3 run defense we played the Colts. Yeah, the Texans have had some really good, impressive performances against the run. And actually, Cody, that's a good jumping off point into the next thing that I want to get to. Where have the Colts lost recently? So past 4 games for the Colts, they're 2-2. 2 wins, 2 losses. Their 2 victories have come against the Las Vegas Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their 2 losses have come against the Cincinnati Bengals and the Atlanta Falcons. So where are the Colts? Where could you maybe take advantage of the Colts? And what makes me feel like the Texans are ready for this matchup with the Colts? Well, you look at the losses, and against Atlanta, they couldn't get anything going on the ground. Jonathan Taylor averaged 2.4 yards per carry in that game. They didn't have Zach Moss in there. Gardner Minshew had to run for his life a couple of times. In fact, you take out Gardner Minshew's runs, and the Colts rushed for just about 60 yards in that game. So they didn't run the football well against the Atlanta Falcons, and they lost that game. In fact, they got smoked in that game. The Colts scored 7 points early on, and then the Falcons kept pouring it on with field goals after that. And then you look at the Bengals matchup. Same story. Colts rushed for 41 yards with their running backs. Okay, couldn't get anything going on the ground. This Colts team has to run the football to be successful. They couldn't get anything going on the ground against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they couldn't get anything going on the ground against the Falcons. But you look at the Raiders this past weekend, and you got vintage Jonathan Taylor. He goes for 96 yards on the ground, averaging over 4.5 a carry. They run the ball. So from an offensive standpoint, the Colts run the ball better. They win. The Colts don't run the ball well. They lose. And the Texans have gotten that rush defense kind of settled and organized from the last time they played the Indianapolis Colts. So that's probably, to me, one of the biggest elements of Texans defense versus Colts offense. It's the exact same thing when it's flipped around. When the Colts defense is on the field, the Texans offense is going to be on the field. You look at those 2 games in the past month. The Atlanta Falcons ran for 177 yards. The Cincinnati Bengals ran for 111 yards, okay, over 100 with their running backs, and they beat the Colts pretty handily. And you look at the matchups in the past month where the Colts won. The Raiders ran for 84 yards, and the Steelers ran for 74 yards. Now, don't get me wrong, poor quarterback play from the Steelers, and the Raiders are just, they don't have very much punch to them overall. But the Colts, when they stop the run, they're successful. When they don't stop the run, they're not successful. When the Colts run the football well, they're successful. When they don't run the football well, they're not successful. I don't want to say it's simple and it's easy and that's everything, but to me, that's one of the biggest things about this matchup is running the football well against the Colts, and Devin Singletary and this offensive line should be ready to rock and ready to run the ball against this line of the Colts, and stopping the run from the Colts as well. Those are, to me, the 2 biggest things that I noticed early on looking at this matchup. Let's get to some more of your comments as well. Of course, Super Chats go to the front of the line. I agree. Stroud said it's night and day compared to week 2. Yeah, it's very much is night and day. I hope Grenard can play. You know, Grenard's an interesting one. Missed last week. Would not have practiced today if it was a real practice. They did a walkthrough today, okay? But would not have practiced today if it was a real practice. So that's one to monitor. And again, that's another guy that the first matchup wasn't the guy that he is now. Grenard's turned into a really, really nice pass rusher. He wasn't that guy when they played the Colts the first time. That's a guy, if he plays, ready to rock. Ready to rock. Isaiah says, I hate to say it, the Texans are going to lose. Injuries are going to kill us. Isaiah, get out of here. Get out of here, Isaiah. Get out of here. The maturity has grown for a young Skywalker, CJ. Yeah, look, he's a much better player. Like he is a much better player than he was in week 2. The growth that we talked about with CJ Stroud in training camp and the small things that got better and bigger, man, over a course of a season, he's a much different guy. And a lot of that stuff the Colts threw at him, he probably hadn't seen on an NFL field yet. You know what he's done now? He's seen a lot of that stuff. I'm gonna try to get current here on these comments. Remember, if we knew we'd be here at the end of the beginning of the season, we'd take it, no question. Throw the ball deep, 80% success rate. Yeah, the Texans have had some trouble stopping the deep pass. Stoots, my own horn. No? Okay. Yeah, no, we're not doing that for a name of the channel. No. No. EB, good to see you. I would think Noah Brown's a no. Robert Woods is a maybe. Maybe with a strong move to yes. Watching the Texans from New York finally get a primetime game. Exactly. Finally in prime time. Sean G says, I'm so looking forward to this game. Where's the watch party? Well, I mean, I got a great place that you should go watch the game. Sean, did you mean to give me the out to talk about my friends at J Bar M? Because you did. Sean G, if you want to go watch the game, J Bar M in Edo is the way to go. 2201 Leland is where you can find my friends at J Bar M. And it's a Saturday, so you're going to have $2 wells on Friday and Saturday all day long. They got the brunch menu to get your Saturday started early if you want to get there early. But J Bar M in the beer garden, they have a great setup there at J Bar M to watch games. Basketball, baseball season when it gets here. Obviously, the last little grasp of football season. Man, J Bar M will take care of you. Let's look. I mean, just look at some of the incredible stuff they got going on there. This was their whole hog from New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, excuse me. Man, just incredible food, a great environment, great people over there at J Bar M. And I encourage you to go check them out. 2201 Leland is where you can find them. 2201 Leland in Edo. Check out my friends at J Bar M. Sean, appreciate the setup here. And you know what? Let's do this. I'm current on the chat here. So let's see here. I don't want to make it like a Google race. I kind of want it to make like a little knowledge here, a little knowledge about the Texans, or a little knowledge about the history of the team. All right, let's do this here. If you're watching this live, get ready. I got a trivia question for you. Winner is going to win a J Bar M gift card. Got a trivia question for you. The Texans have had four Pro Bowl offensive linemen in their history. The Texans have had 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen in their history. Name me 2 of them. First person to get it in the chat is going to win a J Bar M gift card. The Texans have had 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen in history. Name me 2 of them. And the first person to do that, boom, Jim, fire away. Jim, very fast. Oh, man, everybody came in at the same time. Oof. All right. We're going to go Jim and Sean as the quickest on the draw. Okay? So Jim and Sean. All right? Jim and Sean were the quickest on the draw. Isaiah and Tyler, you were right there. All right. So I got a J Bar M gift card. But you know what? I got some Cabo Bob's gift cards as well. So Sean, Isaiah, Jim, and Tyler, send me an email. CodyStoots@gmail.com. CodyStoots@gmail.com. You 4, Jim's going to get the J Bar, but the other 3 are going to get a Cabo Bob's. Okay, send me an email. CodyStoots@gmail.com. I know who to look for. Tyler, Jim, Isaiah, and Sean. Man, everybody fired away through that one. Was that too easy? Was that too easy? Oh, look at this. Give me a sticker, Stoots. Someone else get the gift card, put it to better use. All right, Jim, I got you. I'll take care of you. I'll send you the sticker. We'll get the J bar to somebody, and we'll get the Cabo Bobs to the other folks as well. All right, man. That trivia, woo! That trivia fired away. Hey, Matt Marr, I know you're not a local. I know you're in Missouri. Y'all got Dairy Queens up there? What's the slogan up there in Missouri for Dairy Queen when they run the commercials? DQ, that's what I like about Missouri. I don't know. I'm out in Austin anyway, so logistically it'd be an issue. Well, I got something for you, Tyler. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got something for you. So send me an email. Those 4 guys, please send me an email. CodyStoots@gmail.com. CodyStoots@gmail.com. Is Kareem Jackson going to play this Saturday? So if they need Kareem, they've got him. They'll use him. Nice backup player. They started DeAndre Houston Carson in Jimmy Ward's spot. And then Kareem will get worked in as I'm sure he understands and learns a little bit more about what they want and what they want to put together and what they want to bring to the table. But yeah, Kareem's going to get in the mix, I think, for sure. For sure. Illinois. Why did I think Missouri? It's because you're a Cardinals fan. That's why I thought Missouri. DQ. That's what I like about Illinois. Let me throw the email on the screen for the folks. By the way, this is my email, CodyStoots@gmail.com. It's on the YouTube page, so I'm not like hiding it. It's not some state secret or anything. I got stickers too. So if you didn't win a gift card, but you still want something, I'll send you the sticker. I'll send you stickers in the mail. Hold on. Like some Houston football stickers. Got those. And some CJ Stroud hymn stickers. Got those as well. So you want a sticker, send me an email. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. That's the email. If you got the answer right, which by the way, the answer, the 4 offensive linemen, Laramie Tunsil, Dwayne Brown, Chris Myers, and Wade Smith. Those are your 4 Pro Bowlers the Texans have had on the offensive line. If you got the answer right, you want a sticker, send me an email. Okay? The email's right there on the screen. Put it up there a second ago. Send me an email. I will take care of you. Okay. One more thing about the Colts recently. They do not give up a lot of sacks. The Indianapolis Colts do. So with that, you think about the Texans' strong point and the Texans where they've been able to attack quarterbacks recently. The Colts don't give up a lot of sacks. D'Amico Ryans talked about this. Minshew's ability to move within the pocket, to avoid pressure. We talked about some of the rushing that Minshew's been able to do to get away from pressure and move the football. They don't give up a lot of sacks. So the Texans are going to have to put pressure when they can, when Minshew's not getting rid of the ball fast. And within that, you got to cover the guys that are the playmakers for the Colts. Okay? Josh Downs is a guy that can beat you up, catch and go. Michael Pittman is one of the better pass catchers in all of football. To me, he's really good. So you got to get ready to cover him. And that's a Stingley, that's a Steven Nelson type thing. So Minshew, he's not going to win a shootout. Like, that's the big thing. They've got to keep this thing under control. They've got to keep this thing probably not low scoring, but the lower the better. That benefits the Colts a little bit more. They don't really turn the rock over. They don't allow a lot of sacks. So they're going to try to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. They're going to be methodical in some of these drives. Every now and then they'll hit a big one. Alec Pierce, that's a guy you got to watch on Saturday because he can get behind the defense. He's done it a couple times here in recent weeks. If Pierce gets behind the defense, okay, if Pierce gets behind the defense, then you're in trouble, and he's probably catching a touchdown. Now, he's got a little bit of the dropsies. He's dropped the ball a couple times, but if Pierce gets behind the defense, that's going to be bad. That's one of the big plays the Colts can make. Big plays will rule the day, okay? If the Colts make them, they're going to beat you. If you make them, you're going to beat the Colts. So I understand that that sounds very simplistic, but the Colts have to be methodical, and any big play is super big-time bonus for them. Just the way that they operate. This Richardson, when he gets back, he plays next year, they're going to be more of a big play offense. But right now, they got to be methodical, death by 1,000 paper cuts type stuff. If you can limit the big plays and then make the big plays yourself, we didn't see a ton of that from C.J. Stroud and company against the Titans. You didn't necessarily have to. You finally saw it kind of ramp up there. Big plays will rule the day. So don't let the Colts get big plays. Get big plays yourself. Bing, bang, boom. And you beat the Indianapolis Colts. All right, we're in full-on Q&A time. If you want to get in on some of these questions and you want to go to the front of the line, like Sean with the super chat. Sean, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the quality Texas content you put out. Cody, keep it up, brother. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. 2023 was was the most rewarding professional year of my life, in large part because I get to sit on here and talk Texans with you guys. It's been incredible. The YouTube channel with Houston football, it's been great. I've had a blast. This is a fun Texans team to cover, and kind stuff like this from guys like Sean. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. Okay. Let's see. Get through some of these. How about a free week for the articles? All right. Cody wants a free week. I tell you what, you send me an email this week. I'll get you a trial to Houston football. Send me an email, codystoots@gmail.com. I'll get you a trial on Houston football. First, let's call it the first 3 people to send me an email for a free trial. I'll get you a trial on Houston football. All right? Heard this is one of the worst ref crews in the league. Man, you just kind of live with it. You can't control that. You can't worry about that. You just got to live with whoever the referees are and hope that they don't screw things up, man. You just can't control that. You know what? You score enough points, the refs don't matter. Charles says, I really thought Pierce was going to be a star. You know, I did too. If you remember back in the preseason, we were talking about what Damian Pierce was going to get to, and I basically acted like it was a done deal. He's getting to 1,000 yards, and that was not the case. It didn't click for him. It didn't click for him the right way in this offense, and so it's been tough sledding. It's been tough sledding for him in this offense. It just hasn't clicked. Curtis's podcast network. Houston's path to victory is simple. Make Minshew beat you. Make him throw 35-plus times. Yeah, look, Gardner Minshew is not going to win a shootout. So if you turn this into a shootout, you win. To me, I don't believe he can win a shootout. DL, isn't it good to have Fairbairn back? He's one of the best kickers in the NFL. Going to need him. Yeah, look, you stalled out in the red zone a couple of times against the Titans. You know, maybe sometimes it was a big deal, sometimes it wasn't. But you stalled out against the Titans in the red zone. You stalled out against the Colts in the red zone. I don't know if field goals are going to be enough. You're going to have to score some touchdowns. You know, don't act like Cody Stoots in college out at the bar. Don't settle for 3s. 6s will get the job done. Don't settle for 3s. 6s will get the job done. I do like having Kaimi there. It does give me a lot of confidence if they need a game winner. Jim Davies. We're screwed if T.Y. Hilton plays. Yeah, not good if T.Y. Hilton plays. That guy has dominated the Texans for years. Thankfully, he's not in the NFL anymore. But, man, he was a scary individual. He's an all-time Texans killer. All-time. Mechie and Hutchinson are going to need to contribute. The Texans are going to win this game. Yes. It's time to produce from those guys when they have their opportunities. If Noah Brown can't go and your wide receiver room is Nico Collins and Xavier Hutchinson and John Mechie and Robert Woods, you've got to get stuff out of Xavier Hutchinson and Mechie. And Mechie's been a disappointment from a football standpoint this year. But you got to get production out of those guys if you're going to win. Hit that like button. We got 200 people in here. Yeah, man. Over 200 people, man. A thumbs up does wonders for the video. I greatly appreciate it. You think the Texans can be the 2021 Bengals? Yeah. I mean, the quarterback being ahead of schedule thrusts you into the conversation and thrusts you into where you want to go and where you need to be. And which is make the playoffs, win the playoffs. So, yeah, it thrusts you into the conversation. Maybe a little ahead of schedule, talking about it like that, but it'd be nice. What happened to you guys on ESPN Radio? I decided to leave in July and start Houston football and focus on the YouTube channel. BK started his company on YouTube, and my goodness, what a year to cover the Texas Longhorns. And then Jake does his stuff on YouTube now, and he does some radio in New York and stuff like that. So the show just it ended. I wanted to cover the Texans full time, and that's what I decided to do and put all my energy into it. Blue Boy, my main concern is the same it was in week 3. I'm assuming you mean week 2. D-line is always impressive. Colts have 2 top 10 DTs. Yeah, you've got to be good inside. So Michael Dieter, Shaq Mason, Drew Scruggs, those guys have got to be on their P's and Q's on this matchup, or DeForest Buckner will take over the game and ruin everything. Ruin everything. What do you think about their banged-up O-line against our D-line? Everybody's hurt at this point. I do believe their banged-up offensive line is going to play, so you're not going to get any missing. You're not going to get like Quentin Nelson missing or anything like that. Ooh, I don't know their blitz rate off the top of my head. So let's go here. Let's take a look here. Javi, you may know something about them that I don't. Let's see here. Blitz percentage. Wow. Lowest in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts. In part because they get so much pressure with that defensive line. So, Javi, I knew that they had some issues, or they had some low numbers. I didn't know they were the lowest in the NFL. That was the Jets a few weeks ago. But the Jets maybe have, the Jets have passed the Colts a little bit, but they don't blitz a lot. So they trust their guys to win, which makes coverage tough, which CJ Stroud's going to have to go out there and make some big plays. Honest question. Do you think Laremy Tunsil is needed? I feel like we do better without him in the run game. You paid him, so you got to play him. And they've run pretty well to the left side this year. I'm not super worried about Tunsil. Is JJ signing if the Texans win? They've already got JJ on the roster. JJ Taylor, the practice squad running back, is already on the roster, Sean. That's who you're talking about, right? JJ Watt's not signing for this team. I mean, if he does, great, but he's not. He's not. He's chilling. It'd take him a couple of weeks to get ramped up anyway. What would you like to see different between the first meeting and this upcoming one? Stopping the run is the big one. Zach Moss ate this defense alive. I mean, he was running people over. I think he averaged 5 yards a carry. Zach Moss ate them alive. So stop the run is number one. Run the ball better is number 2. You couldn't run the ball. You were down. You were down so much you couldn't run the ball. So run the ball better. Control the game with the rushing attack would be number 2. That'd be my big one. And gosh, get after the quarterback. You couldn't get after Minshew in the first matchup. Get after the quarterback. The Texans play better on the road. I don't know that there's a huge difference. I don't know there's a huge difference. I prefer him at home, but I don't know there's a huge difference. Should the Texans be in on Dalvin Cook? No. He's washed. He's washed. And Tom Pelissero tweeting that Cook has got fresh legs and has juice to his game and all that. No, he's washed. He's no good. You don't need Dalvin Cook. Notice how D'Amico always answers the same way about Petrie. Very instinctive player. He might be replaced next year. I would tell you there's very few guaranteed spots on this team next year. And the better you play, the more likely you get to keep your job. The worse you play, well, Jalen Petrie's had some bad performances, some bad moments. So the worse you play, it might be, look, I would think you give him one more year because he's a highly invested guy, second-round pick. But have competitors, have challengers to push him. Yeah, look, Hutchinson and Mechie, they haven't played well this season. Not to the level that you need. So, need a little bit more out of them. Robert Martinez. This is my guy, Armac. How worried should we be about the wide receiver group health and possible individuals that might have to fill in? So, here's something that's tough about the wide receiver situation. If Noah Brown can't go and you want to promote somebody from the practice squad, Steven Sims is out of promotions. So you've got to sign Steven Sims to the roster, which if Noah Brown's really seriously hurt and he goes on IR, that's the roster spot. But you can't promote Steven Sims anymore. So your options at wide receiver are Alex Bachman, who's been around the team a couple of times recently, and Chase Cota, who's a rookie out of Oregon. And I don't love the idea of either one of those guys. So if you're going with Sims, he's got to get signed to the active roster, which means somebody losing their spot. Who is it? I don't know. You could find a way. But Sims could help this wide receiver room. I just remember the screen he took for 23 yards on like 3rd and 22. And I just feel like Sims can help. Case Newton wants to know, do you think there's really a chance of the Titans winning or just all media? Vrabel sure looked pissed at the podium today. And I got to imagine that guy don't want another loss. So Vrabel's the X factor in this, the wild card, so to speak, because he can have those guys ready to play and motivated and ready to rock. And it could be pretty tough for the Jaguars to get a victory. El Mario, good to see you. Steven Nelson been getting burnt lately. What changes do you think D'Amico will make this week to stop Minshew from carving us up? I would caution you to say that when Steven Nelson's getting burned, I would caution against thinking that was Nelson's fault. I'll say that. So, but Nelson, he's been dealing with some injuries, not quite as good as he was early on in the season. You guys have to just play better. Like, D'Amico Ryans can call the plays all he wants. Guys got to go out there, be where they're supposed to be, and affect passes, affect pass catchers. Like, guys have to play better. They have to play well to beat the Colts. Like, they have to be in the right spot. Coming out of week 2, D'Amico Ryans said, we didn't execute well. And I know he said that 1,000 freaking times this year. But The very next week, they go out there and they kick the crap out of the Jaguars because they executed. Guys have to play better than they previously played if you're going to have success against the Colts. Like, as much as it's about adjustments and schemes and call this and man that and quarters and nickels and dimes and blitzes, go out there and beat a guy. Go out there and get in front of a pass and knock it down. Go out there and jam a dude at the line of scrimmage and make something happen. Like, guys have to play better. Nelson's one of them. Like, he was playing through the injury, but be as good as you can be. But Petrie and the other safeties and Desmond King has got to be on things. King is a guy that is a difference maker from the slot corner spot that won the matchup or won a piece of the matchup the last time. Like, go out there and make a play. Like, as DeMeco Ryans call all the plays he wants. If the guys aren't in the right spot, the guys don't read the offense, the guys don't make the breaks on the ball, none of it matters. Man, that's a throwback name. Jabbar Gaffney vibes. Can't separate. Yeah, guys are all over him. All over him. Ashton thinks the Colts are better with Minshew at QB. Richardson will be better, but he'll have some serious bumps in the road. Yeah, that's a positive for having to deal with Richardson in the future is he's going to have to go through the growing pains next year in what is his second year. What is your confidence level heading into this? I feel like DeMeco's really going to outcoach Steichen. I have high confidence in DeMeco Ryans and the Texans in this matchup. But it's not necessarily a coach thing. It's more of a talent thing. I like the talent that the Texans have and the spots that they have it more than the Colts. And DeMeco is, I would be really surprised and disappointed if he got worked like he did in the first matchup. If his defense got worked, I'd be really surprised and disappointed. The Duke of New York says, J.J. Watt's coming back next year. What did I teach you? Duke will remember this moment if you're correct. I don't believe he is, but we'll remember this moment. If Nico gets hurt, we are done. Yes. Unless Devin Singletary's Barry Sanders. Yeah. Jarvis Landry's not any good. If Jarvis Landry was good, he'd be on a team. Jarvis Landry is going to announce his retirement, but here's the thing. He's retired. Nobody's giving Jarvis Landry a chance. If we get in the playoffs, anything can happen. Absolutely. Get in the dance and see who your dance partner is, and then see how long you can dance. That's the best part about the playoffs. Of the one-year contracts players there signed this previous offseason, who are they re-signing? Who would you let test the market? I would bring back Singletary for sure, just to have that guy in the building that runs the ball well, and then I'd bring in competition with or for Devin Singletary. So Singletary I'd bring back for sure. I'd let Schultz test the market. Feels like he's going to get paid. I'd let Rankins test the market. Feels like he's going to get paid. I'd bring back Blake Cashman. That's probably the majority of it. Fant's not coming back unless he wants to be a backup, but he could probably start somewhere. So that's where I'm at. Man, I'm 12 minutes behind on the comments. All right, let me fire through these. Have you had a glimpse of the new unis? No. I know a little bit about them, but I think the gist is going to be something for everybody. So take that for what you like. If you like old school uniforms, if you like the uniforms now, there's something for you. If you want some H-Town blue, there's something for you. You want some new modern sleek stuff, there's something for you. Bobby want to know, are me, Jake, and BK still good friends? Absolutely. I'm actually super bummed Texas isn't coming to Houston for the national championship because I was going to get to see BK. I'm going to go see him in Austin when football season's over. And then I had dinner with Jake 2 weeks ago. In fact, I got to go get him some 5-hour energy from Sam's. If we get in, I feel like CJ and Coach will find a way to keep this momentum going all through the playoffs. Look, every game from this moment on, if you win, you keep playing. If you lose, you go home. So if you build some momentum, you get some things going, you have some success, please ride this thing out as long as it will go. It might end Saturday night. It damn sure could end Saturday night. But if it doesn't, you're playing the following week in the playoffs. And if you win that, you get to keep playing and you get to build on that momentum, like Devin said. Does Nick Caserio keep his job because the beginning of the season, the fans wanted him gone? Yes, Caserio. The only thing that will cause Nick Caserio to leave is if Nick Caserio wants to leave. He's not getting fired, but if he wants to leave, he can leave. Should Barnett get another contract? I'd be interested in Derek Barnett being back as a rotational piece. Sure. Win or lose, it's been a successful season for the Texans. Yep, I agree. If JJ signs, Duke gets a sticker. I'll send the guy a sticker. All right, I'm gonna fire through these here quickly. No, Jarvis Landry's washed. Mike Evans will be available soon. He's come back home to Houston area in his career. So Galveston native would love it. Evans apparently is commanding over $20 million in projections from the contract people. I probably wouldn't pay him $20 million, but could be interesting. I'd have the conversation with him. You think Shaq Griffin was a mistake considering some of our injuries in the secondary? I thought he was a nice depth piece. If he was willing to stick around as a depth piece, then yes. If he was upset that he was a depth piece, then no. Will Anderson be full speed Saturday? I don't believe so. I believe, he talked about how last week was so difficult to get ready to play. Toughest week of his professional career to be ready for Sunday. So I don't believe he'll be full speed, but whatever speed you do get him at, he's still really good, as evidenced by Sunday. Matt Marr's got a super chat. Do you think Grenard will be back? So this is the $60 million question, $70 million question. Jonathan Grenard may enter free agency with one of the highest sack numbers of a true free agent in recent memory. So Trey Hendrickson, if you remember him from the Saints a few years ago, had a big year and then hit free agency and nobody really bought it. And then the Bengals signed him up on like a $10 million a year deal. And then he ended up getting a $60 million deal from the Bengals. So about 4 years, $60 million. I believe Grenard will command something close to that on the market. Guys like Grenard age, and he hadn't played a lot of football, so you hope there's a lot left. Production, like he's produced when he's been healthy, and look, this is the first time he's unhealthy this season, but I would think Grenard checks in at $15 million a year. So it's I would tell you no, because you can find a way to replace Jonathan Grenard's production. It's not going to be the same level, but maybe it's a rookie. Maybe it's a free agent that's not as expensive as Grenard. A trade if somebody's dumping somebody in the offseason. So I would tell you no, just because I feel like somebody's going to pay him more than the Texans are comfortable paying him. Matt Marr, I appreciate the question. I appreciate the super chat. If you have a super chat, you go to the front of the line when it comes to the comment section. Okay. I apologize if I missed your comments. This is the most comments we've ever had to roll through here. More recent tape on Minshew shows they'll help us win. Yeah, he's had a little rough deal. I remember Jake Cashman said Jets won the Blake Cashman trade. Look at that. Texans won the trade by a mile. Cashman's been a nice player. Cashman's always been a nice player. He's never been healthy. Okay. He's finally healthy and he plays a good season of football. Dinged up a little bit in the middle, at the beginning, here at the end, but Cashman's a nice player. For the right price, I would absolutely have Blake Cashman back in the fold. He does a lot of stuff at that linebacker spot. JR, I appreciate the super chat. The goatee is elite, Brody. About those unis, are they going to be late? They're going to be somewhere to replace some of the ones now. I believe April is when they will debut, and it'll be a whole new uniform set. So you're allowed 4 uniforms. It'll be, from my understanding, 4 new uniforms. So whole new uniform set is my understanding. 4 new uniforms with a nod to the way that it looks now, something modern, something with H-Town blue, and then I would have guessed the other one is a battle red, is a full red. So those would be my best guesses based on what I'm allowed to talk about on the uniforms. So modern, close to now, H-Town blue, and a red. That's my thought. Nobody's told me any of that. That's just my guess based on how they've talked about it and stuff like that. JR, man, thank you for the super chat. I think I finally got it almost even. Maybe this side's got a little bit too much volume to it. Maybe I need to cut that down. I'm going to the mustache later this year anyway. So the goatee looking good now is a moot point because I'm going to the mustache later this year. I got to lose some LBs first. Okay, can't have quad chin out here. We likely play the Bills, I think. Yeah, I feel like the Bills are ready to beat up on the Dolphins, and if that happens, then the Jaguars' victory would put the Texans in that spot to play the Bills. Yeah. I feel that way as well. They won't release Beck. He would go to IR if they wanted to go that route. I think they like Beck, though. Yeah, Beck was back at practice this week. So I would think Beck's going to be – Beck's not going anywhere. He's not the guy that's losing his spot for Steven Sims. Here I am 10 minutes ago. Sean G with the super chat. Thank you, Sean G. Honest question, what do you think the issue is with Mechie? I know he had some medical issues, but do you think it's a stamina thing, playbook? I think there's a multitude of things. Experience, he doesn't have a lot. He's behind. He hasn't been able to play a lot on the field. So getting better, having the experience of playing, that's been tougher. I don't know that he's as fast as he was prior to the injury. I do wonder about, okay, he played he had the injury in the college football playoff, and then he rehabs it, and then in rehab he has to deal with the cancer diagnosis. I just wonder if rehabbing the injury while dealing with the cancer hurt the rehab, and he's still working back from that, trying to get to that level that he was at Bama. So I think it's part of that. And he's got to play a little bit more football, but it's hard to put him on the field when he can't succeed. So I think really he's not as fast as he was at Bama. He's not as quick as he was at Bama, and he's just having a rough time at the NFL level. I don't believe there's some long-term issue with the cancer conversation or anything like that. I don't believe that. So I think that's where the issues are with Mechie. And he's been I don't want to say he's been in the wrong spot sometimes on some of this stuff, but the connection and the cleanliness of the quarterback wide receiver connection has not been there. Sean, I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jim says the city of Houston needs more post-game lives with Hugh Landry and Meltzer next year. Do what we can. We'll do what we can. So be confident in Brevin Jordan now. I like Brevin Jordan for what he is, which is a depth piece in the tight end room and a solid player. When he gets an opportunity, he's not a throw him in there and feel great about it at the tight end spot, but in stretches and bursts, I like what Brevin Jordan brings to the table. Sean G says, your opinions on which players in which 2024 is going to be a make or break year for them. Petrie's the top of the list. Jalen Petrie's the top of the list. Mechie's going to be there as well. I would believe both those guys are back, but they've got to perform well. Same with Dameon Pierce. I believe he's back, but he's got to perform well in 2024. He's not going to be on the team. Kenyon Green. He's got to come back healthy and ready to rock, or he's not going to be on the football team. Off the top of my head here. That's a pretty good list right there. Petrie, Mechie, Dameon Pierce, and Kenyon Green. Those are the make or break players in 2024. And some of those guys may not escape training camp. Some of those guys may not escape training camp. That's just the NFL. It's the NFL sometimes. Next year will be a breakout for Mechie. I hope so. If we go wide receiver in round 1, who's your ideal choice to realistically be at our pick? Great question. I like Romaduzzi, the Washington wide receiver. He may be gone. Malik Neighbors would be incredible. That guy's a freak. Keon Coleman probably is too close to Nico Collins. I don't know that you should think about like, oh, I can't have another guy like Nico, but he's probably a little close. You maybe want a little bit different skill set. Roma Dunze in most mock drafts is in the top 15, so you're probably not getting him. Neighbors is in the top 15. You're probably not getting him. Obviously, we're not getting Marvin Harrison Jr. To the Texans. So then you start looking at Brian Thomas Jr. From LSU. He declared, right? I thought I saw something on Twitter today. Correct me if one of these guys declared or said they're coming back or whatever. Igbuka from Ohio State, nice player. Adonai Mitchell, if he comes out. Troy Franklin's a nice player. Get me Ladd McConkey. Damn it. The Georgia kid. Get me Ladd McConkey. I don't know where he's going, but get me Ladd McConkey on this team. Is Mike Boone still on the team kind of like Tim? He's not. I think this is about Dameon Pierce, but yeah, I mean, look, a little bit more, get something for him. Swap him out with a player that's not working on another team and might work on your team. The Stoots, Meltzer, and Landry postgames during Cully and Lovey days kept me going on this team. We need them again. I'll get the crew back together. We'll get them together here. Get them together on Landry's channel a bunch. I'll get the crew together. For sure. Sean, by the way, I appreciate the super chat. I don't know if I said that. I don't like Xavier Worthy. I'll say that. I don't like Xavier Worthy. I don't like him as much as probably 5 or 7 other guys. If he slips, he's there, yada, yada. I don't like Xavier Worthy. I would not select him in the first round. I would tell you more likely that he leaves than stays. Big payday coming for him from somebody, I would think. With Patterson and Scruggs, I think Green is likely a second string if he makes it out of training camp. If he comes in there and outplays Scruggs or Patterson, then you start him. If not, okay, maybe he's a backup or maybe you move on from him. Larry weighing in on this Saturday's game. Okay, here it is. See if the Texans get penetration, the receivers get open. Happens, Texans win. Yeah, look, you got to get after Gardner Minshew. It doesn't have to be sacks, man. Just put some pressure, put some heat on it. We need Motor, which is Devin Singletary, if you don't know. Nico and Schultz in a big way this weekend. Yeah, got to show up. Schultz is my pick to click, so to speak. This is one of the times we trade down so we get 2 players in the second round, much better value. I'm with you on that, especially if a QB falls and somebody wants to jump back in for the QB or something like that, I'd be happy to listen. Got to beat the Colts for thinking about playoffs. Sure. Dior says, hey, Cody, I want to say God bless. Keep up the great videos and keep grinding. Dior, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Happy New Year to everybody. Many blessings in 2024 to you, your family, professionally, personally. I hope everybody has a great year. 2024 is going to be huge for the channel, for the Texans, for Houston football, for the live streams, for the recorded videos. We're going to have a blast here on the YouTube channel in 2024. Would you want D-Hop back? He's available this offseason. What happened to him going to a winning team? LOL. I'm out on D-Hop. It's not there the level you want in the investment. I'd rather spend it on a veteran who's got a little bit more juice left in him. Tyler says, am I dumb for being willing to trade 2024 and 2025 first, plus more if we have to go to one and get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yes. They're not a wide receiver away. They're not one wide receiver away from turning this thing into a monster. You can't do that for a wideout. A lot of Worthy fans in here. Matt Maher hit it, though. He likes AD over Worthy. Not a Worthy guy. Who would you get in free agency? Well, it depends on who's available. I would go veteran to replace Steven Nelson. If there was a veteran out there, put a guy that's going to be a tandem with Singletary. So I'd go veteran to replace Steven Nelson. I'd bring in another free agent tight end. I don't believe I'd pay what Schultz is going to command. I'd add some defensive line talent, some worthwhile. And then I'd try to find the best linebacker I could. Yeah, I freaking love Tavondre Sweat. I don't know if he's going to be there. He's probably not going to be there. Well, I take that back. He might be the perfect type of guy that's going to be there in the late first, that maybe it's tough to make the selection. If he's the top of the second round and the deal popped up, I'd take him. I'd move up for Tavondre Sweat. I love his game. I love his vibe too. How do you feel going into this team? I feel good about the Texans' direction overall. I feel good about Saturday as well. Oh, there we go. How do you feel going into this game? I feel good about this game. I like where the Texans are. The Colts are in a rough spot. I like this. I like where this team is headed. James Harden, 3-time depoy. When the Texans do Blake Corum or a running back in the draft. I would add a running back, sure. Absolutely. I'd add a running back in the draft. You got to figure that third running back's got to be able to play special teams, though, because Singletary, key backup, and then special teams player. So, got to be able to play special teams. Like and sub, guys. Yeah, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I like this wide receiver class, man. There's a bunch of dudes. There's a bunch of dudes. I like this wide receiver class a lot. Harrison Jr. is a freak. Malik Neighbors is really good. Roman Dunze is good. Keon Coleman's a unique talent. Brian Thomas, Ibuka, Mitchell, Franklin, Worthy, McConkey, Polk, Walker. I might be naming some guys that have said they're coming back or whatever. Some of those announcements are still coming. But man, there's a lot of dudes in this draft from a wide receiver standpoint. Why do we struggle at red zone so much? Some of it's the plays. I don't love the plays. Slowick throws in there in the red zone. Some of it's the plays, but some of it, it's easier to play defense in the red zone and tighten some things up. Guys just can't get open. Like, go watch some of those red zone plays from Sunday. Guys just aren't getting open. Can Houston franchise tag Grenard? Yes, they can. It's expensive. I wouldn't do it, but they can, absolutely. Deep Steel Blue, Battle Red, Liberty White, and a yet to be named, but kind of named H-Town Blue. Let's see. Few more. Forgive me. I'm going through these comments best I can. Tyler, I do it in a heartbeat. The instant chemistry be worth it, especially with Tank coming back. Let's spend money on defensive players, maybe even Donald for 1 year. Tyler, you're giving up too much draft capital. You got to have cheap players. You got to have cheap players on this team going forward. So the rookies are going to supplement the veterans. You got to have cheap players. Stingley's going to get paid one day. Nico, CJ, you've already paid the linemen. Tunsil and Howard. Like, guys are going to start getting paid, so you're going to need cheap talent to supplement them. That's where the draft comes in. I think Jim's a Texas fan. Byron Murphy or Sweat and then trade up for A.D. Mitchell. Yeah. I like Tavondre Sweat a lot. I might irrationally say go and get him with the first round pick. He's probably a late first, early second guy. I like Tavondre a lot. All right, let's do a little housekeeping here. Underdog Fantasy, the best way to play fantasy. Underdog Fantasy, the Pick'em format is so easy to play. It's so much fun. It's 2 to 5 stat predictions, higher or lower, put together in your entry, and you win when you correctly predict them. That's right. You could 20 times your entry in just one game, up to 100 times with the Scorcher feature that Underdog just added as well. My viewers get 2 times their first deposit. 2 times your first deposit. So if you deposit $10, you get $20 to play with. You deposit $50, you get $100. It's up to $100. UnderdogFantasy.com. UnderdogFantasy.com. There's a link in the description down below. You can use that. Should autofill the code Stoots, STOOTS. If it doesn't autofill, Stoots, STOOTS is my code to get 2 times your first deposit on Underdog Fantasy. Pick'em is so much fun, so easy to play. We put a Pick'em entry with the Texans game together each and every week. We'll do so Saturday as well. We have hit twice this year, 20 times. 20 times our entry, twice this year. We've hit 20 times our entry during a Texans game. Wouldn't you like to have that happen to you? Okay. Start your 2024 off right with Underdog Fantasy, the best way to fantasy. All right, getting close to wrapping it up here. Fire away. Gridiron Sportscast, biggest Underdog win this week was $150 this season. Use code Stoots. Hey, Gridiron, appreciate you playing, man. Thank you. I do believe the red helmets will be the primary helmet. That's just my hope and maybe my thought. What if CJ Stroud gets hurt and his opportunity comes, he cannot carry a team or win for us? My point is exactly on the bench for nothing. I don't really worry about guys getting hurt. Matt Barr's talking about Brian Burns, the Panthers guy. Very good, very nasty. The Texans, if you believe some of the rumors, were maybe in on him at the trade deadline. But Brian Burns could be a fun one. When they lose, they can't stop the run or run the ball. So that's my big thing. We talked about that a little bit early on in the video. Yeah, I wonder if the investment in Howard's going to keep them from getting Grenard. I wonder if the investment in Howard's going to keep them from getting somebody, maybe Grenard. Okay. Little housekeeping here. It's wrapping it up here, time. Fire away, last few questions. If you got a super chat, get it in. We'll get to it immediately. This was a good one. Top 3 biggest needs for the Texans going in the offseason. I don't know yet because I don't know. I mean, wide receiver depth is probably one of them. Nico, Tank, and then some other guys behind him. That's one. A linebacker, an addition to linebacker, and depth in the secondary or a starter at corner because Nelson's a free agent. Okay. I got stickers for you. Okay. At Gmail. Okay. That's my email. If you want a sticker. So we got the Houston football stickers. We got the CJ Stroud hymn stickers. If you want a sticker, send me an email. Okay. If you want a gift card earlier, send me an email. Okay. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time. A long time. Any chance to make it first round? Yes, absolutely. They got a really good quarterback and their defense can play well. Oh, man. See, there it is. There it is. Jim says, any update on the hats? I have an update on the hats. Jim. We've been talking about this on the channel for a long time. Cody, we like the hats, the trucker hats. I got an update on the hats. For you. We got Houston football hats. For you. I don't know exactly how to sell these yet. I will tell you this. We will raffle away Houston football hats. Look how clean this thing is, man. This guy named Shorty. My guy Shorty does incredible work. The blue trucker hats. Look how great that embroidery is. The Houston football hats are here. I will raffle these away. Okay? I will raffle some of these away in the coming days. So be on the lookout for how you can get an opportunity to win these in a raffle. Okay? I'll raffle some of these away. If you would like to purchase them, I will find a way for you to purchase them. With the taxes and the so on and so forth. We'll figure that out. I think Shopify is the way to go. If somebody's got a recommendation, please let me know. But these things, they fit great. Usually I got to put the trucker hat on the last one. Look how, I think these are some of the best trucker hats. That I've ever seen. And they fit great. They sit right. Man, they're great. If you are interested in just flat out, I don't care about raffles, Cody, I want to purchase a trucker hat. Send me an email. CodyStoots@gmail.com. CodyStoots@gmail.com. I will figure out a way to sell you a trucker hat. Be on the lookout for the raffle. We're going to raffle off some of these. So if you want an opportunity at some of these, be on the lookout. But man, these are slick. These are nice. I got blue ones. Let me tell you, there's a chance there could be some other colors in the future. All right. There's a chance there could be some other designs in the future. So now that we got the hats, what else do y'all want? Y'all want shirts? Y'all want shirts? Y'all want, somebody in the chat said hoodies a second ago. What is it? I don't know what everybody wants. I know we got hats. We got the blue ones right now. Okay. We got the blue ones right now. Oh, somebody said beanies. Okay. All right. But we'll work on the hats. Get those out to people. Raffles in the coming days. Send me an email if you want to buy one. I'll figure out a way to sell you one. I think Shopify is probably the way to go. We'll set that up. We'll get that going. Okay. We got the Houston football hats. This will not be the only style of hat. We'll get some other different kinds of hats going in the near future. We will raffle some of these away. And again, the raffle is going to be the first way for you to get them. And we'll talk on the email if you want to purchase them as well. We get to, what's the number I'm thinking about? If we get to 5,000 subscribers, we're going to have a subscriber just blowout party. So let's get to 5,000 subscribers on the channel. We'll have a big blowout party. We'll do gift cards. We'll do stickers. We'll do hats. We'll do some other cool stuff. So let's get to 5,000 subscribers. I know a lot of you are already subscribed, so that doesn't really help you, but tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a casual acquaintance, okay? Tell a casual encounter about Houston football and about the YouTube channel, okay? All right. Again, raffle for the hats in the coming days. Okay, we'll talk about that. If you're interested in just buying one, just flat out buying one, don't want to worry about a raffle, don't want to take the chance, don't like my chances, I got money, I'll pay for it. CodyStoots@gmail.com. CodyStoots@gmail.com. I will find out a way to sell you a hat. Okay? Little Jesus says coffee cups. Okay. All right. Football, flask. You'll get stickers with the hat. Of course you'll get stickers with the hat. Somebody said socks. I don't know about socks. DeRhino says, I told my enemies. It's great. Oh, man. All right. As we mentioned, hats are rolling. I'm ready. Man, I'm ready to attack 2024. I'm feeling good. The channel's doing great. The Texans are doing great. It's going to be an incredible year, regardless of what happens Saturday and after. The offseason is going to be awesome. Thank you all so much for all of the support. I could not even have imagined that the channel was going to be where it is right now. So thank you all for all the support, the thumbs ups, the likes, the shares, being in the lives, the interactions, wanting the gear, wanting the gift cards, all the fun stuff, supporting J-Bar M, supporting Underdog Fantasy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. And it's made it. 2023 was one of the best professional years I've ever had in my entire life. It was the best professional year I've had in my entire life. So much fun. And 2024 is going to be even bigger. And get out of here, bug. Even bigger and better. And we're going to have a blast. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be awesome. So thank you, everybody. All right. Be on the lookout for raffle information on the hats. Send me an email if you want a gift card earlier. Send me an email if you want stickers. Send me an email if you want to buy a hat. Send me an email if you have a question that I didn't get to. Okay. Lots of fun stuff coming on the channel. We will have on the channel this week playoff scenarios. If this, then that. If the Texans win and the Jaguars lose, who are they playing? Where do they play? If the Texans win and the Jaguars win and the Bills win, who do they play? Where they? That will be on the channel coming soon. Working on that with some fun graphics and stuff like that. So don't miss out on that. We finish the show on a live the same way each and every time. If you know it, get it in the comment section. We wrap up the lives each and every time the same way. And if you don't know it, you're here to learn it. This is my charge to you. This is my hope for you as well. I want you to eat good, sleep good, be good. Okay? I want you to do that. And it's also what I hope for you as well. Eat good, sleep good, be good. And I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. Thank you, everybody.